be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome back to From the Edge. It is October 5th, and you know what's interesting about this week is not a whole lot really happened. You know, if you looked at it from the outside, you'd probably even say it was a boring week. But I'm actually kind of glad that that's the case, because I think a lot of times when people go after projects or they're pursuing things or they're trying to accomplish goals, they feel like they're not getting closer or better if there isn't an instant return on investment. And I believe that when you're going after challenging things, when you have large goals, you may have a week or two where nothing really seems to change. And not saying that you don't get things done, it's just that you can't have progress all the time when the goals are really big. You know, you're going to have weeks where you put in a lot of work and it doesn't seem like a whole lot happened. And that's not a bad thing. But I think a lot of times we get impatient and we struggle to appreciate the fact that when you're doing hard things, you don't always get instant return on investment. And so for me this week, that was kind of the case. You know, I did my same usual routine. I was up at 5. I was doing work. I was down here getting after it. I was writing my newsletter. I was recording episodes. I was working on my website, launching some different things there. But nothing really different or new, or if you were on the outside looking in, exciting to report upon. You know, all the big things have happened last week, so I'm kind of just riding those things out right now and continuing to try to work on them. So I'm creating, you know, some marketing content for the new book. I'm trying to draw eyes to the newsletter and put that content out there. I'm trying to build the members page in the members community, because I think that that's something that can be very valuable and cool going forward. But all of those things it's a lot of time with not a whole lot of stuff happening with it, you know, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes when that's the case, we get discouraged and we quit, and the things that we are chasing, the bigger they are, sometimes the slower they come. You know, I get a chance to look at some of these people, being someone who asks others to do an interview. I get to see a bunch of people with large followings that someday I hope I have. But if I constantly am trying to be that person to get to that number, it's not going to happen for me. It's a process that happens over time. It's a slow burn. You know, you're not searing a steak here. You're not throwing the heat up to max and just popping that bad boy on there. You're going to let it slow cook. You're throwing it in the smoker and you're letting it take its time. And I think that's a lot of the challenge with going after big goals, with having aspirations to accomplish a lot of things, is, can you be patient enough to let them run their course? I think if we do that, my belief is if you are patient enough and disciplined enough to consistently put in work, the outcomes will eventually find you. They may not necessarily be the outcomes you were originally seeking. You may have to make some adjustments and some modifications, but the truth is that if you are somebody who's willing to put in consistent daily efforts, you will find some level of success in what you're doing. But you have to be willing to do the boring, slow, mundane, daily efforts well. And that's a challenge that's going to be one that you're going to have to figure out. So I'm actually kind of glad. Like I said, I was glad that this week not a whole lot happened, not a whole lot to report, because I think sometimes, you get this, you see a lot of success, you see a lot of reporting on things that are going on. Obviously a lot of people in social media, they only share the highlights. So you're not seeing the challenging meetings. You're not seeing the challenging creative thought processes. You're not seeing the time where nothing happens. And I want to be transparent. I want to open up to the fact that, I'm not always going to have huge things to report on, huge successes that happen that week. And that's part of the process of achieving something is, can you continue to work with the same effort when nothing seems to be happening? Now, if it happens for too long, we have to reevaluate. We have to figure out, okay, why is nothing happening? And where do I pivot? Where do I go from here? But for now, I've tended to have a lot of success each week and a lot of things accomplished. And not saying that nothing got accomplished this week, but it was just another typical, this is my week. This is how I do my things. So anyway, that was kind of the idea for this week. I just feel like if you have the ability to stay focused, stay disciplined, stay true to what you're trying to do, you may not always see the results you want that moment. But if you can work through those, eventually you're going to find what you're looking for. So if you haven't had a chance yet, head over to the new website. It's been up and running. It's active. There's all kinds of stuff on there that I brought with me from the old page. I've added some new stuff. There's a members section now, which is kind of cool. My new book, Master of the Sea, is available for pre-sale. It's on sale, so once it's actually released, it will be more expensive. So if you're looking to get your hands on that, you can save a little money and get it a little bit early. And with that, you will get immediate digital access, which I think is kind of a cool way for me to help you start reading it today while you wait till December for it to come out. So, but if you have any questions, if you're looking for, somebody to help kind of guide you on your journey, or if you have an idea for a topic you want me to cover in one of these from the Edge sections, connect with me. Hit me up. My email is charles@theedgeofgreatnessproject.com. I'd love to hear from you. I've been working real hard to try to, like I said, build this community up. I want to open those doors, and a big part of that is hearing from you guys. So tell me what you're working through. Tell me what's going on, and we can get through this thing together. So, as always, guys, keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face, but remember, whenever we fall, always get up. Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness podcast.